So I keep on having an image of myself the same way I was for 4 years, trying to live in shelters, in the woods, in caves, in tents, walking just on the public sidewalk, going into the doctor's office, or going into from the hospital back trying to go into the shelter, or going from the woods to go get food and water, or just something like that. Think of dirt roads, offside roads where it's less busy, less traffic, so people don't harass you. Think of shelters and hospitals, just places like that. You're just trying to survive, and you're volunteering your time at different food banks, and you're volunteering over here, and you're volunteering with the hospital drives. You're just trying to volunteer anywhere you can. You're living in the woods, the situation, and you're walking down a street. All of a sudden, something happens to you where you get picked up and either put into a hospital or in a police station, and then they're giving you hassle, railroading you, as you just go, what the hell is going on? You have no drugs on you, you've done nothing illegal, but you're walking to volunteer someplace. That's it. When the police came, you told them that. They asked where you lived, you told them that. And then they just harassed you. They cuffed you. They considered you homeless. They brought you to a prison. They started undressing you. They put you in a jail cell. They turn up the air conditioning and take away your clothing, causing you to shiver. They put you in front of a judge where you have no attorney. He gives you an arraignment. They set you on bail that you don't have. Nobody bails you out, so you sit in the damn prison. You go to court. They have a court appointed lawyer who just pleads some type of no contest deal bullshit. And then you go nuts. Let's say that's the situation you're used to. Or you're in the woods and they come hunting for you, game wardens trying to light you on fire. I have been lit on fire. I've seen other people lit on fire. I've heard of people getting lit on fire on top of that. We've had tents cut open, phones stolen by officers. We've seen the officers going through other people's tents, taking belongings that are not drugs, medications that are prescribed to the individual. Officers are just doing all this while putting other people in danger. So you got a lot of dirty cops going down to these wood lines, and they say it's to protect the people, but you got so much of the population out of work or literally disabled or hurt or not allowed to work or working and still can't get an apartment. That's one that I've heard a lot now. I'm working 50 hours and I still can't get an apartment. Those people are living in cars, paying, they give up more than half their paycheck. They'll get like $3,000, $2,000 a month. Let's say they work 60 hours, they get $2,000 a month if they're lucky, something like that. They give more than half of that just to have some man ask for sex all the time, bossing them around. Yes, I know many women who are in this situation having the couch surf on men's couches that treat them wrong. I feel so bad for these coworkers I've seen that go through this. I've seen this time after time. People working more than 40 hours and they can't even live. They have to live in cars and in shelters while working 40, 50 hours. It never works out good. They always have to move after a year. They try to find an apartment for a year or two. They can't find one. So they just pick one job and then they try to stick with that while moving to another town on the other side, or they just try all these different methods. But the apartment has to come first. You have to have the apartment work, then you have a stable foundation. But you can't work and have nowhere to live and think that your job or your life is stable. And that's just one of the big problems in society today. My situation is triple fucked up thanks to my father and mother. I have to deal with all these regular problems that everybody my age has to deal with, plus 10 tons of extra problems and walls and bullshit and disabilities and body failures and organ failures that I've had since childhood that needed to be treated. That, I mean, I didn't know that that bosses didn't like me shaking and needed me to actually have coordination. Who knew that you had to have coordination and you had to not be bumping into stuff and getting hurt at work for it to be okay to work? Who knew that bosses wouldn't like you getting hurt at work? Huh. Well, I think my father might have a guess if he went through my medical history that, or at least talked to me about what was going on at any given time during my childhood. Oh, that's right. My mother said it was all some dreamy, oh, he bumps into furniture, has scabs all over his body, he keeps falling down, he got scar after scar on his shins, on the back of his heel, he has a scrape here, he has a bruise there, he broke a watch here, all this coordination shit all the at age 13, 14, 15, 5, 6, 7, well, right after the overdose, so closer to the 7. The overdose was before the adoption, though, and the adoption was at 7. So I say from age 5 to 7 was the overdose when my nervous system was fried. Even though it wasn't right when I met them, when I was in foster care, but it definitely was the later years. It definitely was closer to 6 or 7. Actually, I would say the overdose was about the year before or around the year of the adoption or the year. It all seems like when I was about a little older than 6. But I remember also the adoption seeming like it was about 6 months or much later. It's all between age 5 to 7. And it's hard to put that in order when it all is a blur, where you only have the bad PTSD memories clear as glass, like you're looking through a window. They call those flashbacks. You'll never, well, you can control them, you can get over them, but you'll always have a clear of these PTSD memories where you wake up on the floor with your body changed. You'll always be horrified that your vision went out and you're screaming for help, but you can't form the word help no more. You're trying to say the word, I can't speak, help, and nothing, oh, I can't talk, help me. When I'm making noises like that, you'll never fucking forget how you just had your body fucked up by some pills. And that's why I brought it up with every single doctor, all the way up to almost my adulthood. I always mentioned this so called allergy attack. And it made me go completely unconscious as my breathing slowed down. And then they left me there. Just left me there on a pile of newspapers while needing to go to the emergency room. When I woke up, my body changed forever. And as the teachers called it, it was a sudden change where my writing and speaking and my walking changed forever. That is the way that the teachers put it. They didn't say the word forever. They said it changed. And every time they just said it's still changed. It's still like that. It's still like that. It's still like, what the hell happened to this kid overnight? That's the type of attitude that the teachers had, so they wanted physical and speech therapy, as well as the doctors were very concerned. Hence why I had to be moved to Texas.